If you're 75 or older and flying through a US airport, there are TSA procedures you should know before you reach the security checkpoint. And one of the biggest mistakes older travelers make is assuming that airport security works exactly the same for everyone. It doesn't. TSA has specific procedures for older passengers, and there are also ways travelers with mobility limitations, medical conditions, or other needs can request additional assistance. But there's a catch. Some of these protections only help you if you know to ask for them. So before your next flight, let's start with the most important thing every traveler 75 and older should understand. Number 1, 75 plus does not mean you have TSA PreCheck. This is one of the biggest misconceptions floating around online. You may have seen videos claiming that once you turn 75, TSA automatically gives you PreCheck style screening. That isn't correct. TSA PreCheck is a separate, trusted traveler program that requires enrollment. Seniors don't automatically receive a PreCheck membership simply because of their age. However, TSA does have modified screening procedures for passengers 75 and older, and this is where things get interesting. Historically, TSA's senior screening procedures allowed travelers 75 and older to keep certain items on during a screening and provided additional options if an alarm occurred. But TSA changed its nationwide shoe policy in July 2025, meaning passengers no longer have to remove their shoes simply because they're going through standard TSA screening. So if you're 75 today, don't rely on an old internet tip telling you that your age alone gives you a special shoes-on privilege. The rules changed. What hasn't changed is that TSA has procedures designed to accommodate passengers who need additional assistance, and that's where many older travelers can benefit. Number 2, if standing for screening is difficult, say so. This is something you should know before you're standing in the security line struggling to keep your balance. TSA says travelers who need assistance because of a disability, medical condition, or other circumstance can request help. You can ask for a passenger support specialist, or PSS. These are TSA officers with specialized training to assist passengers who may need additional support during screening. And you don't have to wait until something goes wrong. If you know in advance that airport security is going to be difficult for you, TSA recommends contacting TSA Cares at least 72 hours before traveling, so assistance can potentially be coordinated. That's a detail worth remembering, because the best time to solve a problem at the airport is before you arrive at the airport. And there's one more thing you can do if you need help. Ask for a passenger support specialist when you arrive at the checkpoint. A passenger support specialist, or PSS, is a specially trained TSA officer who can assist travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, or other circumstances that make screening more difficult. Requesting one does not remove the requirement to go through security screening, but it can make the process easier to understand and navigate. So if you're 75 or older and you're worried about standing, walking, communicating your needs, or handling the screening process, don't simply struggle through it silently. Tell the TSA officer what you need. And if you know ahead of time that you'll need assistance, TSA recommends contacting TSA Cares before your trip. This service provides information about screening procedures and can help travelers understand what to expect. Now let's talk about something that becomes especially important for older travelers. Number 3, mobility devices can change the way you're screened. If you travel with a wheelchair, walker, cane, crutches, or another mobility device, don't assume you have to leave it behind just because you're going through security. TSA has procedures for screening mobility aids, and passengers 75 or older who use mobility devices may receive alternative screening procedures. In some situations, that can include remaining seated while a TSA officer performs a screening. That's a huge difference if standing for several minutes is uncomfortable or unsafe. And here's something you should remember. Your age isn't the reason you receive every accommodation. Your specific need matters. So don't feel like you have to pretend you're unable to walk just to get assistance. If you can walk but have difficulty standing for long periods, explain that honestly. If you use a walker, tell the officer. If you have a medical condition that affects your ability to stand, communicate, or go through the scanner normally, tell them. The goal isn't to avoid screening. The goal is to get through the required screening safely and appropriately. Number 4. Your medical devices don't automatically mean you can't fly. Many older travelers worry about what happens when they reach TSA with a pacemaker, insulin pump, CPAP machine, hearing device, prosthetic device, or another medical item. The worst thing you can do is arrive at the checkpoint without knowing how your particular device should be handled. TSA has procedures for passengers with medical conditions and medical devices, and the agency encourages travelers to communicate their needs to officers before screening begins. You can also use a TSA notification card to communicate information about a disability, medical condition, or other circumstance that may affect screening. But remember, the card doesn't exempt you from security screening. It simply helps communicate your situation to the TSA officer. And that distinction matters. You're not trying to get around security, you're trying to make sure the officer understands your situation before the screening starts. So if you're 75 or older, here's a simple rule. Don't hide a mobility or medical need just because you're worried about slowing down the line. Tell the officer, ask questions, and if necessary, request additional assistance. Because the goal isn't to rush through the airport. The goal is to get through security safely, calmly, and without unnecessary stress.
Now, let's talk about something that causes a lot of unnecessary stress for older travelers: medications and medical liquids. If you take prescription medication, don't assume you have to leave it at home or squeeze everything into the normal 3.4-ounce liquid limit. TSA has specific exceptions for medically necessary liquids, gels, and aerosols. These can be allowed in quantities greater than 3.4 ounces when they are medically necessary, although they may receive additional screening. That means something important. Don't hide medically necessary medication in your bag just because you're worried about the liquid rule. Tell the TSA officer that you have medically necessary liquids when you arrive at the checkpoint. And if you're carrying medication that needs special handling, organize it before you leave home. You don't want to be digging through 5 different bags while dozens of people are waiting behind you. Keep your medication together and easy to identify. Also remember that TSA screening isn't designed to punish you for having a medical condition. The officer still needs to screen the items, but communicating clearly can make the process much easier. Number 5, don't be afraid to ask for a private screening. This is something many travelers don't realize they can request. If TSA needs to conduct additional screening or a pat-down, and you would feel more comfortable away from the public checkpoint, you can request a private screening area. That's particularly important if you're carrying sensitive medical equipment, dealing with a medical condition, or simply don't feel comfortable discussing personal information in front of a crowd. TSA's procedures provide options for travelers who need modified screening because of medical conditions or disabilities. So if an officer tells you that additional screening is required, don't panic. You can calmly ask, "Can this screening be done in a private area?" You don't need to be embarrassed about asking. Number 6, your companion can be extremely helpful. If you're traveling with a spouse, adult child, caregiver, or another trusted person, that companion can help you communicate your needs and keep track of your belongings. But there's an important detail. A companion doesn't automatically bypass TSA screening. If that person goes into a screening area with you, they may have to go through the appropriate security procedures themselves. So don't assume your travel companion can simply walk through the checkpoint with you without being screened. Instead, think of them as someone who can help you prepare and communicate, while TSA still controls the security process. And if you're traveling alone, that's another reason to plan ahead. You don't have to wait until you're overwhelmed at the checkpoint to ask for help. TSA's passenger support specialists exist specifically to assist travelers who may need additional support during screening. Number 7, give yourself more time than you think you need. This isn't a special TSA exemption, it's simply smart travel. If you're 75 or older and you're carrying medication, using a mobility device, traveling with a companion, or expecting additional screening, rushing through the airport is the last thing you want. Arriving early gives you time to deal with unexpected questions without feeling pressured. And remember, TSA screening procedures can vary depending on the situation and the equipment at a particular checkpoint. So don't build your entire travel plan around something you saw in an old video. Check the current TSA guidance before your trip.
That's especially important because airport security rules can change. The shoe removal rule, for example, changed nationwide in 2025, so older videos claiming that everyone 75 plus gets a special shoes on privilege may be outdated. The safest approach is simple. Know your needs, communicate them clearly, prepare your medications and mobility equipment, and give yourself enough time. And there's still one final mistake that many older travelers make before they even reach the TSA checkpoint. It has nothing to do with shoes, bags, or security scanners. It starts with the ID in your wallet.
TSA's official What Can I Bring database covers thousands of individual items, so you don't have to guess. And remember something important. Being 75 or older doesn't mean you have to become an expert on airport security. You just need to know the rules that actually apply to you. Don't rely on an old Facebook post. Don't trust a random TikTok claiming that seniors get a secret TSA shortcut. And don't assume something is allowed simply because another traveler got it through security. Check, prepare, ask when you're unsure. That three-step approach can prevent a surprising amount of trouble. So if you're 75 or older and you're planning to fly soon, save this video and check the official TSA guidance again before your trip. Because airport security doesn't have to be the most stressful part of your journey. The more prepared you are before you reach that checkpoint, the easier the entire process can become. Safe travels.